The Lions secured another hard-fought victory, but what caught everyone's attention this time was Dan Campbell's different post-game speech, which mixed emotion with a powerful message for the team. And if you think that's the only news, wait until you hear about a signing that could change our season completely. Don't miss any details and leave a like to support. Dan Campbell is known for his fiery post-game speeches, but after the Lions' Week 12 grinded-out win over the Chicago Bears, the big guy dialed it back a notch. The game wasn't exactly pretty, classic clock chaos by Chicago, and a shaky second half for Detroit. But Campbell didn't let that dampen the vibe. At the podium, he was reflective, even a little emotional, reminding everyone that sometimes it's less about the style points and more about stacking wins in a league where victories are tough to come by. "If you're not careful, you start grading your wins," Campbell said, channeling wisdom straight out of the Grit Manual. "It's good to have high standards, but you've got to step back and remember, it's not easy to win in this league." This was a division game against a team that's been battling every week. "Yeah, we've got stuff to clean up, but I'm not losing sleep over this W." That same message carried into the locker room. Campbell told the team, "Sure, it's important to hold yourself accountable and aim higher, but don't lose sight of what matters, winning, especially in a league where no game is a gimme. And if you're not built the way we are, you don't win that game," Campbell said, giving props to his squad's resilience. "It wasn't perfect. We let them back in. They started coming for us. But man, our defense? How about our defense? That's what we do. Complimentary football." Then Campbell got sentimental, leaning into the Thanksgiving spirit. He thanked his players, reminded them to appreciate the moment, and closed with a heartfelt, "Happy Thanksgiving to all of you." The cherry on top? Defensive tackle DJ Reader snagged the lone game ball for his monster performance, racking up a career-best 2 sacks. Reader capped things off with a fiery breakdown, closing out a win that was scrappy but oh so satisfying. For Lions fans, it's clear, Dan Campbell knows when to bring the fire and when to bring the feels, and this time, he delivered both. What did you think of Dan Campbell's approach? Was it motivating, or did it leave something to be desired? Tell us in the comments. But now, a piece of news brings a twist that could change the game for the Lions. The Detroit Lions are moving quickly to patch up their battered linebacker group after another brutal injury blow. With Malcolm Rodriguez going down with a torn ACL during the Thanksgiving Day win over the Chicago Bears, Detroit is bringing in some reinforcements. Reports Friday confirmed the Lions are snagging veteran linebacker Quan Alexander off the Denver Broncos practice squad. Since they're poaching him, Alexander will slide right onto the active roster. This move follows a tough stretch for Detroit's linebacking core. Rodriguez's season-ending injury marks the 4th significant hit to the position this year, with Alex Anzalone, broken forearm, Derek Barnes, and Jalen Reeves-Maybin also sidelined. The Lions' depth has been tested hard, forcing them to lean on recent additions like Ezekiel Turner, David Long Jr., and now Quan Alexander. Alexander, a 10-year NFL veteran, brings plenty of experience to Detroit. The 30-year-old played 3 games for the Broncos this season as a game day elevation, tallying 8 tackles, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Over his career, which began as a 4th-round pick by Tampa Bay in 2015, Alexander has suited up for 6 teams, including the 49ers, Jets, and Steelers. He even earned a Pro Bowl nod in 2017. But it's not just experience Alexander brings. There's some familiarity with the Lions coaching staff, too. He spent parts of 2 seasons in New Orleans, including the 2020 campaign, when Dan Campbell and defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn were both on the Saints sideline. That connection might help Alexander hit the ground running in Detroit's system. The Lions have made a habit of staying aggressive in the face of adversity this year, and Alexander's addition is just the latest example. With the playoffs in sight, Detroit is stacking up reinforcements to keep their defense afloat through the injuries. Time will tell how quickly Alexander can make an impact, but his arrival is a much-needed boost for a unit that's been through the ringer. Detroit is doing what it can to keep up the pace in a challenging season, but will these decisions be enough to keep the momentum going? Fans can celebrate, but with a grain of salt. Subscribe to the channel to keep up with the latest news and leave your comment.